In this video, I'm going to show you how to use iron-on or heat transfer vinyl to make an Easter bag. So here's what the project looks like in Design Space. You can obviously customize it to the specific name or dimensions, but I've got the bones here for you. So all we have to do from here is click Make It. And then we'll come to the matte preview screen. Don't forget to mirror your image in Design Space. So to do that, we're gonna come to this left-hand column here, click on Mirror, and you can see that it just quickly mirrors it, and we'll hit Mirror here, and then the name as well. Then we'll hit Continue, connect to my Air 2. All right, so I have my iron on. You need to make sure you put it face down onto your cutting mat. I'm going to be using a standard grip cutting mat. I'll just get this lined up. I already cut my iron on to size. And now I'm gonna use a scraper tool to get some of these air bubbles out and make sure it's completely flat onto the mat. So now I'm going to get this loaded in my machine. I'm using a Cricut Explore Air 2, but any Cricut will work. I'm just going to move my smart dial over to iron-on, and then we'll get cutting. To remove the iron-on from the mat, I'm going to flip the mat over and bend the mat back while I keep the iron-on straight. Next up, I'm going to get the glitter iron-on applied onto the mat. Again, we're going to do it face down. We'll get this one loaded in, and then I'm actually going to change the smart dial to the custom setting, and then we'll search in Design Space for glitter iron-on. All right, the last thing we're going to cut is the pink everyday iron-on. And then we'll have to change our settings one more time over to iron-on. All right, so now we're going to get to weaving. Just going to remove the excess vinyl from around the design and also inside of the design. So to figure out our Easy Press settings, we are going to go to Cricut.com/heat guide. It's really simple to use. All you have to do is click on the Easy Press machine that you have, and then we'll come down here to heat transfer material. I'm first going to use everyday iron-on, but I will have to change the settings to glitter when I do the glitter portion. So if you're using different iron-on materials, just make sure you remember to change the setting. But to start, I'm going to use everyday iron-on. Then our base material is going to be muslin. And I do have an Easy Press mat, so we'll click that and then we'll click Apply. So now as you can see, it gives you the time and the temperature, but also really helpful instructions like preheating and the pressure and heating from the back. So definitely use this resource when you're using your Easy Press. So now we'll get our Easy Press heated up, and it says to set it to 340 degrees for 30 seconds. All right, so now I'm gonna get the bag ready. I'm actually going to put my Easy Press mat inside of the bag, and I'm going to push it all the way to the bottom. Now, my Easy Press mat is not as tall as my bag is, so when I do the name up at the top, I'll just have to move the Easy Press mat up. So the first thing that the instructions say to do is to preheat for 15 seconds. So I'm going to grab my Easy Press, and I'm just going to lightly press for 15 seconds. This will help to remove any moisture that may be in the bag and also any creases. If your bag is really creased, I would recommend just kind of ironing it before you do this whole process. So now that that's preheated, we'll take the ears, and I'm gonna do my best to center them on the bag. Can just measure using a couple fingers or grab a tape measure. There, looks good. And now I'm going to grab the Easy Press, and we are going to press for 30 seconds, again with light pressure. It's really important that you have covered your entire design. And I think now you can see why I wanted to put the Easy Press mat into the bag. All right, it's all finished, so we'll remove this. And now I'm actually going to take the Easy Press mat out of the bag, because we're gonna heat the back of this bag. Careful, everything is super hot. So we'll set this down onto the Easy Press mat, and then we're gonna heat from the back for 15 seconds. All right, so now this is super hot. So before we layer the glitter iron on, I'm just going to let this cool down. We'll make sure everything's good to go with this, and then we will layer the glitter. All right, so this has cooled down. It is warm. The directions say to do a warm peel. So I'm gonna start in the bottom corner, and we're gonna peel this up. All right, so that turned out perfectly. That is the everyday iron-on that we use for the ears. And then for the inside of the ears, I have glitter iron-on that we're just gonna put probably right about there. So we're gonna layer the glitter on top of the everyday iron-on next. All right, so I just changed my heat settings on the Easy Press to 270 degrees, just following the heat guide again online. And I'm gonna go ahead and tuck the Easy Press mat back into the bag. So now we're going to apply the glitter iron-on, and I'm going to put a piece of butcher paper down over the everyday iron-on while I preheat, just so that it doesn't melt the iron-on. So we're going to preheat just for 5 seconds, and then we will apply the glitter. And then again, apply the butcher paper. Do you see how all of this is exposed? If this touches your Easy Press, it's going to melt it. So the butcher paper will protect it, and then we'll apply the Easy Press with light pressure for 30 seconds. All right, so that's finished. We can actually just peel this while it's hot. Just be very careful. All right, there are our ears. And now I'm going to, like I said earlier, move my Easy Press mat up so that when I do the name, it fits. And then we will return our Easy Press to the original settings we had it at for everyday iron-on vinyl. All right, it's all heated up, so we're gonna follow the same steps as we have the past 2 times. The only thing I wanna mention is just to be extra careful that you do not touch this part. And actually, I'm just gonna put the butcher paper over it to make sure I'm being safe. So we'll start by preheating just for 5 seconds. And then we will apply the name. And I actually think I'm gonna just scoot this up so that I don't even have to worry about going on the ears. And then we'll apply the Easy Press with light pressure. And actually, I'm gonna be too close. All right, 30 seconds, here we go. And then lastly, we'll flip it over and preheat from the back. All right, so we're all finished with the Easy Press now, so I'm just gonna let this cool down and then we'll do a warm peel. Ooh, okay. So do you see how it hasn't completely stuck? So we're gonna go over it again with the Easy Press, and then we'll just repeat the steps, heating from the front and the back. I may not have been pushing hard enough. I'm not sure, sometimes it happens. So we will just reheat from the front and then from the back again, and then we should be good to go. Another thing that I found for iron-on not sticking well is if you didn't preheat long enough or for it to get hot enough. So that definitely could have been why too. But luckily, using iron-on or heat transfer vinyl is pretty forgiving. I'm glad that we can fix it. All right, so it has cooled down just a little bit and we are gonna peel again. All right, there it is. So all I had to do was just reheat. If it happens to you, don't worry, it happens to all of us. So there is our little Easter egg hunt bag. I absolutely love this project.